morning and welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV. This is a Thursday edition. My name is Tom Adirele, and today I have with me two special guests. I have to my left Prophetess Mrs. Rhoda Ikotun. Now, she's also a barrister at law, and together we will be discussing a very, very sensitive but very important topic. On my right, I have with me a professor. He is also a past Lagos State Commissioner for Finance. His name is Mr. Professor, permit me to say, Professor Abiodun Akinkumi. It's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the program, Barrister Prophetess Ikotun and Professor. You see, it's like a tongue twister, so I'm kind of getting confused. Akinkumi. All right, so today we'll be discussing the brain drain issue. I said it is sensitive, and I said it's very important. And you want to ask me, well, I'll tell you a very short story. About 8 or 9 years ago, my daughter finished medical school, and all her friends were planning to travel abroad to practice. And she came to me and said, Mommy, I don't want to go anywhere. I am going to remain in Nigeria because I believe that Nigeria needs me. Now, these were her words 8 years ago. Sometime late last year, she calls me up and she says, Mommy, you need to come over because there's something very important I need to discuss with you. And I'm wondering what it could be. So I rushed over to her place and we sat down. She said, Mommy, well, 8 years down the line, I think that I want to leave the country because I don't see a future for myself, and that was quite worrisome for me. But even at that, I wasn't seeing what they, the youth are seeing. It was like I was still on the inside. I wasn't even looking out. I wasn't making an attempt to look out. I am a chip of the old block. That's what I call myself. And so I wasn't seeing what they were seeing. Until a week ago, I had to make a few calls, and I called up a set of young people, about 10 of them. And, they had Nigerian numbers. Some of them had Nigerian numbers, but a few had American numbers. So I called them. And the last person I spoke to said, good morning, man. I said, it's not morning, it's evening. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. So I said, are you in America? He said, yes. And that's when it actually hit me. I called 10 people and 8 of them were outside the country. And I asked myself, what is going on? So today, here we are. Let's discuss it. We have a brain drain issue we need to attend to. And I'd like to start with the woman. So, barrister, well, you're a barrister at law, you're a prophetess, and that's the reason why I have asked you to come in, because Nigeria is such a religious country. We pray every day, we fast every day, we have a lot of churches, we have a lot of mosques, we have people who are actually into religion. How come we are where we are today? What is happening? Is God not listening to our prayers anymore? Doesn't he answer prayers anymore? Has Nigeria wronged God so much that nothing is happening? We really need to know, because after all, if we fast and pray, there should be results.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. Let me start as a prophetess.
Okay.
Yes, talking about religion. Nigeria is a blessed country, and very blessed indeed. So we can never say that God hates Nigeria. So God loves Nigeria, and according to his word, whenever we pray, he answers. But the truth of the matter is this: people claim to be religious, but in my own opinion, they are not actually religious. If you claim to be religious, religion is something that affects one's personality. It recreates you to a standard that God wants you to be. But the truth, the fact that we are seeing today is that people do not give religion that room to mold them again. People go to church, but they are only being churchy, but they are not godly. And then if you look at the set of people we are talking about, the youth, let me take it from the range of 15 towards 35 years of age, you discover that most of these people are no longer in church. You know, if you see anyone in church within that range, it is either because their parents still have a grip over them, you know, that push them to church, or because they actually have a problem that they want God, they believe that by going to church, they can solve it. Not because they actually love God. And permit me to quote the Bible, you know, in the book of Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 30, it says that God was speaking there that he sought in the land whether he could find a man that can mend the edge and stand in gap for the nation, but there was none. You know, many people go to church not because of the love they have for God, but because of what they want to get from God. And if you are going to church just because of what you want to get from God, he sees your heart more than you can even express to him. So he can decide not to listen to you, you know, and all that. So now looking at the impact of this on our nation.
On our nation.
Yes. Now people are too selfish. No one is thinking of the nation. If you look at that verse that I read, who to stand in gap for the nation, but people only want to stand in gap for themselves. They are no longer considering the welfare of the nation or what they can do, you know, to help the nation. As a growing child, many people believe that truly they can have an impact, you know, they can help solve the problem in the country. But as time goes on, because of those they see ahead of them, they prefer to, you know, do something to help themselves because the country is not even, there's no way forward, you know, for them to think that they can actually have a better tomorrow, like we always say, you know, right from our childhood. So that better tomorrow is so blurred, and that is why a lot of people prefer to go out of the country where they know that no matter what they do there, they will have a result. So that is what we are facing today.
Okay, Prof, what is a brain drain? Let's start from that.
Look, I will move away from religion. Because I think religion will typically cloud what we are trying to solve. So please forgive me. I think religion is something personal. But brain drain, first of all, let's look at the definition of brain drain. Let's look at the causes of brain drain
and the effects.
And the effects
True.
of brain drain. So what is brain drain? Brain drain is purely as simple as war on talents. Purely. And war is a zero-sum game. One person will gain, the other person will lose. So essentially what it means is migration of labor. It could be capital that moves from one country to the other. So, and the country that receives it, there's a positive benefit to it. That's simple as it. And unfortunately, I'm still on this definition of the brain drain. So again, it's the labor migration, and that will continue. And the effect of that, we're not going to see it now. 5-10 years from
down
today,
the line,
we're going to see it, and it's good. And it's really, we're moving towards a very, very disastrous area. I will explain to you. We have government personnel. They're not serious people. They go around donating money, they're dancing, abusing their political opponents. They're jokers. They're not addressing the issues. The main issues, because all these things are intercorrelated. So when we have low GDP, the gross domestic product is less than 2%. What does that mean? We're not creating enough jobs. We're not paying enough taxes. So the government, how does the government make money? Government makes money from taxes. So when the people that pays the most tax are highly talented people, because they earn more. So when those people are moving away, what does happen to our taxes?
Going down.
It's going down. It's very simple. So when we are now creating those jobs, we're not creating these jobs. The labor is moving away, and we are not training as much. The schools has been shut down in the last 8 months.
8 months.
And
Thanks.
nothing is, and we have
So terrible.
political leaders dancing, donating money, abusing their
The opponents.
opponents.
Well, thank God the schools have reopened.
Do
The
you
schools
understand? Have they
reopened.
reopened?
Yes, they
so
have.
we're jokers. That is it. But and what are what I'm trying to say now? The causes. There are two sides to the causes. We have the pull effect, and we have the push effect. The push effect, the push factor, is the negative factor. That is the labor that is living.
Yes.
When they leave, they take, and the causes of, first of all, let's even address why they are living. Multidimensional poverty. So what does that mean is that it's not only with low earners, but bad health, bad roads, water,
Social
sanitation,
amenities.
all the social amenities.
Amenities
It's not
that
there.
are not there.
So why would they leave? Why would they leave? Of course they will leave. Highly talented people are sorted everywhere. It's like capital. They are sorted everywhere. They are welcome. Why would they leave? So that is the push effect. The push factor is the negative factor. And the country, the source country, will lose. The pull country, the destination country, which
Will
has
gain.
the pull factor,
Will
will
gain.
gain.
Again.
High earners, economic growth,
Yes. More advancements.
more advanced research. So you can just imagine, let's just look at the medical industry. For now, you train a doctor 6-7 years, you're out of medical school, right? And you're supposed to, and for them to be effective, they need to now train under a senior consultant for the next 5-6 years, for them to be able to master that area of medical. But when the senior consultant is not
It's
there,
not
It's
there.
not there.
so what are
Who
these guys
trains
going to do?
them?
They're going to be doing trial and error. And that is one of the reasons why we have life expectancy of 53 years old.
But life expectancy is it's better than it was 5 years ago.
Okay.
For whatever reason,
5 is better than 5 years.
yes.
Okay, you have two years.
Statistics.
So we have improved by 2
I mean,
years.
even if
So-
it's improved by 1 year, that's something to be thankful for.
to be thankful for that the life expectancy is 53 years old when people are now living, people, they've moved retirement age in advanced economics to over 70 years. And we are now talking about life expectancy of 53
53
years
years.
in the history of Nigeria. That is shameful.
Yes,
right,
it is.
to be quite honest
Not
with
good
you.
enough, yes, but
It's not, it's
Yeah,
bad.
it's
There's
bad.
no way how you want to slice and dice it. It's bad. So, that is it. So you now look at the effects. Once again, I talked about the GDP. We lose. We're
we
losing.
lose so much.
We lose so much. The government makes money from taxes. So the high earners are now giving that money to the developed nations. And those developed nations are now the one.
We're making the money.
Getting-
We're making the money.
Yes.
So as they are making the money, you remember our GDP growth rate is less than 2%. So we're not growing. We're not growing at all. So we need leadership. And we need leadership that can help us grow
The GDP.
that GDP, that number. Because when you grow that GDP, the brain drain stops. Better standard of living, education will improve, health will improve,
Power.
Roads.
the multidimensional poverty will reduce significantly. So you have, within our peers in sub-Saharan Africa, you have the poorest number.
Okay, let me stop you there. Barrister Ikotun, now, as a barrister at law, I mean, you have a lot of colleagues, around you, junior colleagues, senior colleagues, and all of that. What is it for you? I mean, how is it operating in that industry, in the law business? Are they living as well?
They are living. It's not all about the profession now. It's the country generally. Everyone wants to
To live, irrespective of whether they can work
They can
there.
work or not. You know, they don't care what they want to go and do there. A lot of people are there, you know, they got the visa and they went there, not because God wants them to be there. You understand? But because they just have to be there.
They're tired.
They are tired, fed up. They don't care to do all kinds of,
Menial
job
jobs.
just to make an earning.
Are you saying it's a hopeless situation?
Well, I will not say it's hopeless.
Are you
but
coming from a religious aspect?
Let me put it that way. You know, as a religious person, I won't say it's hopeless.
Okay.
But the fact remains that it's difficult.
Okay, let's hear the causes.
No, I've addressed the causes.
The effects.
The
The
effects.
effects are the economic effects. You know, government makes money from taxes. When tax numbers are low, what does the government do? They go and borrow. And I don't need to tell you the story about our debt
The debts.
servicing and the amount of our debt relative to the projects. I don't need to tell you. You all know the story. So, those are the effects. And it is a huge negative effect. But, and, you know, as much as I'm moving, I don't want to touch politics. But you cannot, when we are talking about economic development, and that is, you cannot avoid politics. It works hand in hand. That's why we have political economy.
Yes.
Do you understand? So, and that is where we are hoping for the right leadership. They have the right economic program to get us out of where we are. If you ask me, that is where the hope lies. We have to get the right person. We cannot have the same, the ruling party. It cannot happen. If we want progress, we cannot do that. They failed us.
I will even say not about getting the right person now, but getting the right people.
Yeah.
You know, because this reformation that we are talking about, or transformation, you know, it's not about one person. It's about a group of people that are ready to pay that sacrifice.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, there's a gentleman that I've been following, and I've read his economic blueprints. I've been following him. He's talking about unity because we are disunited
Yes.
as a nation. He's talking about security. We need to restore security, especially in the north. And the reason why, and that is our security has affected food prices because
Yes.
a lot of the farmers has been displaced.
Yes.
It's talking about economic growth and creating more jobs and getting the private sector involved in the economic development because the government cannot fund it all. It's talking about education and how can we improve. And it's a gentleman that actually currently has his university, private university that he created, is the best in sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, so we now
And
have
he's
an
talking
idea.
and he's
where you're
talking about
headed.
restructuring, having a lean federal government
Okay.
and push a lot of the responsibility onto the state government.
I'll ask you a question.
Please.
Are you saying there is hope? Or
There
are
is
you
hope.
saying
If
we're
we-
in a hopeless
if
situation?
we get
The
that
right-
candidate, there is hope. We are not in a hopeless. If we get
She
that
made
candidate,
I think she made a valid point, and you agreed with that.
Yes.
Yeah, that it's not about one person; it's about a
Correct.
group of people.
Correct.
So, I mean, even if the one person has good intention,
Yes.
if it doesn't have the
The
group
right group.
I'm
to
telling
work
you,
with,
it will be
then that's an
frustrating.
issue
This-
as well. So, we need to be sure that whoever it is that will rule this country next would have the right group of people
to
to
work with.
deliver on the
Yes.
promises that they've made. And that's on the one hand. On the other hand, you said you've seen the blueprint. The blueprint is the blueprint and will remain the blueprint until it is acted out. Until it is, if it is not acted, if it is not done, then it remains a blueprint. So the people are looking up to whoever is going to lead this country next to deliver on their promises. And I don't think that at this level we should be talking about party. We should be talking about the individual. Who is this person that will lead us? The party should come next, the individual first.
look, I don't want to beat around the bush.
And let's not also lose track of the topic that we're discussing.
Absolutely.
Because it's so easy to get drowned in politics.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
You see, you cannot, we cannot talk about brain drain, don't talk about the political economy.
That's correct.
So, without playing around the bush, his name is Mr. Atiku Abubakar. If you will, please allow me. And I'm sure he will, very soon, he will introduce his team, his economic team, to Nigerians.
Are you a politician?
I'm not a politician. I'm far away from being a politician. I'm a policymaker. I'm an author. I've written several books, and I've taught at the university. I'm not a politician. I don't carry any
Party.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've resigned.
I just wanted to be sure.
Oh yeah. But we have to be very careful, and I think history is important.
Yes. Very.
Mr. Atiku Abubakar, he was the head of the economic team under Mr. Olusegun Obasanjo, and there was improvement. So what we faced, where Nigeria was in 1999, it's pretty much mirror where we are today. And those two gentlemen cleaned up Nigeria. There was growth. They cleaned up Nigeria. There was growth in technology, improvement in banking sector, in telecommunication, in agriculture. There was growth. There was stability. There was political stability. Because political stability is one of the issues that pushes our kids out of the country.
Yes.
So they were moving in the right direction. So he has a track record.
Okay.
The numbers are there.
Okay. So much for Atiku Abubakar. We're saying that there is hope. We're
Absolutely.
standing on that fact that there is
Absolutely.
hope. If
For
the
Nigeria.
leader is focused,
Yes.
are we
And
go?
he has the right set of people to work with.
His track record speaks for him.
Yes, you see. Well, I don't want us to dabble into politics.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think the solution will be to this brain drain problem?
Once again, we need, it's all about leadership. And the government has to be sensitive to this brain drain issue. Currently, the government isn't. From ASU and some of the state governors donating money, dancing around, abusing their opponents. Clearly, we're not serious people.
At all.
So we need,
Pensioners are dying.
the pensioners are dying.
Do you think financial experts can help us out with this?
Financial expense? No.
Experts.
Experts. Okay. I will take your word, I will use
My words
the
against
word,
me.
Not against you
Okay.
now, but I want to borrow from what you said.
Okay.
Financial experts can come up with, plans or way out, but
It's not practical.
bringing them to manifestation is what is very, very expedient. It is one thing for you to gather the financial experts and they look at the current situation, provide solutions, but is the country ready to take to their suggestions or advice?
I'll throw that back to you. Do you think that?
Financial experts, we're in the war. We're in war of talent. That's it. We're on war of
Yes.
talent. And war is a zero-sum game. So it's not about financial experts. It's about us winning the war. How can we win the war?
The war.
Because even the financial experts can walk out tomorrow. And
Exactly.
Say
They are
for
working
greener
out
pastures.
They're working out every day. So we're at war on talent. How do we win the war? That's the question. Who is capable to help us win the war? Who has done it before? That's it.
So it still boils down to who is going to rule.
No, you see, let me tell you something. It doesn't boil down to who's going to rule. It's who has the ability, the capability, and who has the team to do it. It's not a woman's job.
No.
Okay. You're watching the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV, a Thursday edition, and the number to call is 08027 696860. If you want to be part of this show, please call us 08027 696860. We're discussing the brain drain issue. Please be part of the show. Yes. So you were saying that whether we get all the financial experts or not, whatever it is they say, is not really important. What is important is that they
Who is
act
going
it.
to
Who is going to
execute?
execute
Yes.
it, and they must execute it.
Yes.
They must.
You know, I discovered something that, have had the opportunity to travel out of the country, and I've heard from people, I've seen it also, that if you go to most, countries, you discover that wherever you find Nigerians, they are always doing well.
They excel. True.
They excel. So we have those talents, but no room for them to exploit. You understand? So at the end of the day, like the effect that you're talking about, the pull and the push, when they are being pulled, what ground does those countries use to give them visas? Come and work, right? So they need your talent, they need your gift, they need your ability. So by the time you get there, those things that God has blessed us with for Nigeria to be better,
It's been enjoyed.
It's being enjoyed in those worlds. So it is not about the experts now. We have them, a handful of them. Despite those that have gone, we still have
still
them.
have
We
a
have
lot.
upcoming.
We have a lot of
but
talent.
now, who is going to help them execute those plans?
Question is, who will bail the cart?
Look,
That is the
Let me tell-
issue that we have.
let me tell you something. I did my secondary school here in Nigeria and all my universities in New York City. So I was one of those people, thank God, that I excelled right on Wall Street. I had a distinguished career. And I felt that, I wasn't chased out, but I think it was part of the youth exuberance. I said, I want to go back to
Go back
Nigeria.
home.
Nigeria.
That's the way it was.
And I did.
Home sweet home.
And I did. And I joined the University of Lagos and at the economics department. And I must tell you today,
Were you lecturing?
I was lecturing. I was
Okay.
lecturing economics. I must tell you today, significant of my students are now all around the world. Very proud of them. Whenever I'm in New York City, they always host me. And they're all doing very well. We have, even despite the condition of the University of Lagos in the early 2000s, and those are the days of Olusegun Obasanjo and Mr. Atiku Abubakar. So, education was stable, and we were able to produce good students. Some stayed, even the ones that stayed are in top places in the financial industry all around the world. So, that is the story, and we need to get back there.
Now, you just told me a story that I'm very familiar with, because back in the day, that is what it was. People used to travel abroad to be educated
Yes,
and come back home.
use it for the
Yes,
country.
for the country.
Correct.
So I'm so used to that. What I'm not used to is people leaving the country with what they have and going to give it to other countries. And the thing, just as you said, is that they excel. Nigerians excel everywhere in the world. We're doing so well.
Correct.
We get all the distinctions. We're excelling in engineering, in medicine, everything. We're excelling. And we're still letting these people go. It's unfortunate, and I do agree with you that it's unfortunate, but as much as you say that you have this fine gentleman who has this very fine plan, and if given a chance, he would do so much. Do you really think that these things will happen? We have had fine gentlemen in the past with good pedigrees, with good blueprints, with everything that seemed to be working for them and would work for the country. But when they
Once
get
they get
there, there is a challenge. What the challenge is, I can't tell you because I'm not there. So do you think, what do you think would be put in place such that we don't lose our talents, we don't lose our human resources to other countries?
Let me explain to you. Please allow me. Education is very critical to economic growth. Very critical.
True.
And education is an investment. Right? You go to school, you get a job. And that job you used to pay back. Or you maintain your parents. Right? This gentleman I'm talking about, he has displayed that leadership, that commitment with a university in northeast of Nigeria, which is the #1 university in sub-Saharan Africa today. And we've produced very fine students out of the American university.
Where are they?
They are all around the world. Some are in Nigeria. Some are in Nigeria. But it is the place to source for talent in sub-Saharan Africa today. American University of Nigeria, Yola. And one thing that is actually quite interesting, a few years ago, there was a lot of heat, internet heat on Google. Google from Africa, Google was curious, and they came. Looking, they thought it was South Africa. They mailed down to Nigeria. And they looked in Nigeria, they now finally found out that it was coming from Yola. Where in Yola? American University. So to show you that our students were doing research online, and the traffic from that's what brought Google. And as a result, Google gave the university funding. So that is the leadership I'm looking for. I don't have anything against any other person, but that's the leadership that will bring growth, that will reduce multidimensional poverty. What are the multidimensional poverty? Keep that in mind. Is the health. It's not about salary alone.
No. Yes.
It's the roads, sanitation.
Yes.
That's multidimensional poverty index. That number is increasing. And we need to bring that number back. We need to move away from less than 2% GDP growth rate. We need to move away from that. We need to move that number to 7 to 10%. Who can do that? Who has been able to have manufacturing companies, education? That is the individual that I'm looking for to lead Nigeria forward.
Okay, so we're asking who can do it. We can't zero in on the fact that just one person can do it. We're saying that we need one person to lead a team that will do it.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to lose our young ones, our talents. We don't want them to leave the country.
Absolutely.
So we're saying that we need that one person that will lead a team. We should also talk about the team. We should talk about them hitting it right, getting it right, hitting the bull's eye so that we don't lose our talents. You talked about a university. You talked about producing, all manner of students, of professionals. But they're not here. That's the problem for me. That's the problem. Why are they going? We know why they're going. Their problem is, but have you taught them that they can be patient? They can create. See, I believe this country has so many issues. And a country that has issues is the same country that has a lot of opportunities. Because in trying to solve those challenges, those problems, those issues, whatever, however you want to turn these things, is the one country where you can make so much money.
Look, let me tell you something. Once again, why won't they leave? Do you give them power?
But did you teach them? Did you teach them that they could generate power on their own somehow? They could teach other people how to generate power on their own. Did you teach them also? No, that's the truth. Because it's never the worst case scenario. The truth is that the grass is always greener on the other side. And I'm not saying that we have gotten it right. And I'm not saying that we're close to getting it right. I'm not saying we will ever get it right. I'm not saying any of this. But I'm also saying that sometimes we can, stay and weather the storm and make it happen. But if we keep giving excuses for them to leave, they will leave.
Let me tell you something. They have to leave. And I'm hoping come February, many of them will stay after the election. Because you need, because you need whoever is going to lead needs interrelated people, which will bring in the private sector, because government cannot do it by itself.
Okay, government cannot do it by itself. Let's hold on that. We'll take a short break and we will return. This is the Bumper Harvest on MITV. Please stay tuned.
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody da fun Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don land for Lagos State gidigba. Money wey be for Lagos State, then go use am for Lagos State. Wella, no more baba sope. Dem no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Dem go take am build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and na only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jandor. He come carry one ogbonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, wetin we dey wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change wey dem vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don do? Pay dey pay.
Everybody da fun Eko.
My husband killer dey outside. He dey waka.
Passion and ambition.
Look at the way my boss was looking at you.
I'm loving someone.
Incessant crime and deceit.
I tell you, don't get go what's past corridor.
400,000.
Intertwined in the corridors of power.
I know you killed GPT and set him up.
On and off the streets.
Hey, don't try to be smart with me. I'm an officer of the law.
Covenant. Showing weekdays at 8 p.m. WAT on Africa Magic Showcase.
Welcome back to Bumper Harvest on MITV, Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV. We have with us Professor Akinkumi and we have Barrister Rhoda Ikoto. Okay, so while we're on break, we've got a caller and I'm sure he'll call back pretty soon. So let's continue with you, Barrister. So what's your last word, for people who are leaving the country?
Okay, I will say that the solution to our talent not leaving the country will start from the home. Let me put it.
That's a different dimension.
Yes,
we have just 5 minutes to round up.
Right,
So
I want to speak as a mother now.
Okay.
I've discovered that youth nowadays, they are growing up with the mentality of, just how to work, go to school, come back, get a job, and get salaries. You understand? So I want to believe that if we can extend it to being creative, not just offices job now, try to do something that will be creative.
Let it trade.
We have a problem in Nigeria, right? So there should be a solution. You getting a solution to those problems now is a way for you to get money.
What 1 second. We have a caller on the line. Please, what's your name, sir?
My name is Olaolu. I'm calling from Kwara State.
From Kwara State. Okay. You want to make a contribution? You want to ask a question? What you want to do?
Yes. I think the man spoke about he had been elected by anti-graft agency in Nigeria, which under his own watch, and that anti-agency, the FCC, he was even recognized by the United States Congress. So he had been indicted with fleet of allegations. So the character matters too.
Okay.
That is the problem most of Nigerians have been here.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And this is what I didn't want. I didn't want it to take a political turn, but I'll give you the opportunity to answer that question in 1 second.
Okay. Look, Olaoluwa, thank you so much for asking that question. You know, we're all intelligent people. Has the man ever been charged to court? And what are his offense? All these things is all rumors. Anybody, you know, we're all working with God's grace. We will never be wrongly accused.
Amen.
Has the man ever been charged to any court? Is it in the United States or in Nigeria? Give me
if those accusations are
give me
true,
the accusation.
then it should be presented in
court.
Oh, as a lawyer.
Exactly. So I'm glad that there's a lawyer here. So if the man has ever been accused, give it to me, then I will stop talking to him. But I'm yet to see any kind of evidence that the man has put his fingers in the government's coffers. So what are we talking about?
Okay.
In terms of competence, the man was vice president. Yeah, and constitutionally, he was in charge of the economic team.
We have to round up now.
Which helped Nigeria to get us to where the growth that we're looking for.
Okay. We have to round up now. We've been given signal. I want to thank you so much, Prof, for being on the program. Barrister, I want to thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And I hope that in the near future, I will come back to you and you will oblige me. And you will oblige me as well. Prof, perhaps we'll be talking politics then.
Yeah.
Just politics. I see you do well in that area. All right, thank you so much for watching the show. It's been my greatest pleasure being on. My name is Ton Aderile. See you again next week, Thursday, on the Bumper Breakfast Show, MITV. Thank you for watching. God bless you and have a good day.
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody ja fun Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don land for Lagos State gidigba. Money wey be for Lagos State, then go use am for Lagos State wella. No more baba sope. Dem no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Dem go take am build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and na only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jandor. He con carry one ogbonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, wetin we dey wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change wey dem vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don do? Pay dey pay.
Everybody ja fun Eko.